I've been exposed! I haven't opened this game since when I recorded the last one. But welcome back to episode 4 part 2! I've been very busy, so that's why. Please don't click away. Please! I'm sorry it took so long to finish. But anyway, I'm back. We're gonna continue where we left off literally almost 2 months ago. Hopefully I'll get this up and running before the 2 months hit. Sir, what is to become of the trial into the Kodopian embassy staff member's murder? Indeed, since both the suspect and the prosecutor are now dead, the case will be dismissed. In other words, the trial ends here prematurely. Looks like you'll have to wait just a bit longer for your big debut. I suppose it can be helped. The evidence for this trial will be transferred to you in a little while. Sir, what do you think about the murder of the Kodium Embassy staff member? And the murders of Mr. Faraday and Mr. L? What an outrageous circus it has all become. That Faraday brought it all upon himself with his naivety. An outrageous circus. Right, sir. I grow weary of this topic. Edward, I will have you assigned to a different case. Papa, you'll come and watch my courtroom debut next, won't you? I'll consider it. Sir, if I may, please allow me to continue with my investigation. Whatever for. I know that there is already a suspect in the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. L. However, there is not enough evidence to prove that it was he who committed the crime. I'd like to continue investigating in order to find the perfect proof of his guilt. Perfect proof. Don't make me laugh. A worthless person like you has no right to claim such a thing as perfection. Papa? Who do you think is the real culprit behind these murders? Miles and I were competing to see who can find the real killer first. Plus, being able to investigate a real crime scene is a really rare opportunity. It would give us some real-life experience, wouldn't you agree? If you want to investigate this case that much, then do as you wish. Then you're allowing us to continue? In court, your top priority is to win, and a solid investigation is one of the keys to winning. We have to make sure you become recognized as a first-rate prosecutor, don't we? It wouldn't be very interesting otherwise. I'm returning home now. Edward, Francisca, see to it I'm not disturbed, save for the results of your competition. Yes, sir. Of course, Papa. Francisca, thank you. What are you thanking me for? Your logic earlier was built on that scruffy detective's lie. That means that the competition is still on. Yes, just as you wish. I couldn't let you get off so easily. Now then, let's see how well you fare on the investigation from here, Miles Edgeworth. I know I don't have enough information yet. So my first order of business will be to question anyone involved with this case. Well, let's start with her already. Miss Yu. Oh, it's you, Edward. And who are you? Wait, you were at the crime scene just now, weren't you? You should be disbarred for not knowing who I am. I am Francisca von Karma, and I am about to become the successor of the family name. About to? I guess that means that for now, you're still just another kid. In which case, it's only natural that I didn't know who you are. Why are you whipping me? Anyway, it looks like they're planning to hold the evidence a bit longer. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's waiting. I'm terribly sorry, but I have a few more questions to ask of you. Look at you, eyebrows scrunched with lines on your forehead. And that 2x of you? What exactly is so funny? Sorry, I'm just bad at dealing with super serious atmosphere. Apparently, they failed to teach you proper behavior at a crime scene in law school. I feel so much better now. So, what is that you want to talk about? I'd like to inquire as to where you were at the time of the murder. We were in the defendant lobby number 1 the whole time, up until we heard the gunshot. And by we, I mean Mr. Bratt. If you don't believe me, feel free to ask him yourself. You were with Detective Bad? Why? We had a little something to discuss, that's all. Okay. So, I take it that you are acquaintances with Detective Bad? Yeah, he was the detective in charge of the KG-8 incident. Detective Bad is also related to that incident? That's right. He was the one who was supposed to protect my sister, Cece. But you know how that turned out, don't you, Edward? How's Edward? I have no idea what you two are talking about. I've heard of the KD-8 incident from my papa. But how does that case relate to you, Miss Yu? The victim of that case, CCU, was my little sister. You're making that super serious face again. I'm fine, really. I just make it a point to rub some more salt in his wound pride every time I see him. The way she talks about doing that as she laughs away is kinda creepy. Oh, speaking of Mr. Bad, he and Mr. Faraday, I'd say they met up just about every single time the Yatagarasu made a move. It was practically a given that the two would meet up at every one of the crime scenes. I see. He did mention that he is in charge of the Yatagarasu investigation earlier. Maybe I should ask her what she knows about the Yatagarasu in more detail. You claim that at the time of the murder, you were with Detective Bad. But don't your lawyers usually discuss a trial with your clients during a recess? We do, and that's what I was planning to do. But Mr. Faraday was being rather threatening and he dragged Mr. Rell away. After that, Mr. Bad came into lobby 1, so we just stayed there and talked. And what did you talk with Detective Bad about? Nothing interesting. I just insulted him some. Talked about how the trial was going, and then I insulted him some more. Bloody, when she's not laughing, her mouth seemingly spews nothing but insults. Anyway, Mr. Bad and I were in detective lobby number 1 when the murder occurred, so I really can't tell you anything about hallway or lobby number 2. I see. I'd like to ask you a few more questions about your client, Mr. Mackrell. Now, your client first claimed to be the Yatagarasu, is that correct? Yeah. Once I heard that it was the Yatagarasu that had made off with the evidence from KG-8, I began to ask Mr. Rell all sorts of questions, but to no avail. Turns out Mr. Rell was not the Yatagarasu. He had just made that up. He made it up? Mr. Rell's crime was caught on tape by the security cameras, but there is no footage of him sneaking into the Codophium embassy itself. Hold on just 1 second. Then you mean to say that you knew that he was not the real Yatagarasu? And that he was just another cold-blooded killer? And you were ready to defend him? Yes, that's right. I see. So, a defense lawyer is actually just someone whose job is to cover for criminals. That's why defense lawyers are so detestable, but they are no match for us Von Karmas. I don't believe it. You're serious. Why don't you save the face for something really worth being serious about? And Edward, do you remember what I said earlier? I have my own agenda. I'm still on the hunt for leads regarding to KG8 incident, alright? And for that, you have not a single qualm about defending a known killer? Don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing. The only way I had to get close to Miss Rowe was to be his lawyer. I had no intention of covering for him, ever. So don't you dare suggest I was going to. I'm sorry. Forgive my rashness. Monsieur, I was wondering if you could tell me about the Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu? Huh. I don't really know much about that character myself. But I do get a lot of consultation requests from companies to defend them. Requests from companies? The Yatagarasu isn't some petty thief out for money, you know. Alright then. Perhaps the Yatagarasu is in the business of stealing people's lives. You're not very funny or witty, are you, little Miss Von Karma? Francesca, be careful about who you whip. Choose carefully or you may be sued by... There, I choose carefully. Just like you wanted. That just now was hilarious, little missy. Of course it was. What is wrong with these two women? Why does my pain give them delight? And so, in the end, what is the Yatagarasu? I have to say, I have never heard of this thief when I was in Germany. Yatagarasu deals in information. Namely, in digging out dirt about backroom dealings and the like of the companies. The Yatagarasu is a vigilante who steals such info and then makes it public for all to see. Vigilante or not, the person sounds like just another criminal to me. I suppose you could put it in that way too. But either way, I get a lot more clients now, thanks to that thief. Sounds like Miss Yu is profiting nicely. I suppose I've gotten all out of Miss Yu. I should move on to speak with Detective Gumshoe now. Knows me too well. Detective Gumshoe. Hey, it's you, pal. You're here. Youch! As am I. I don't think you needed to whip him to let him know that. I didn't do it, pal. I swear on my honor. As a detective, I really didn't. Your words are useless. I place my trust only in the evidence, detective. Once the investigation is fully over, and should we find out that you are the killer, there will be no mercy to be had for you. Have a heart, pal. But you're not worried, right? After all, you have nothing to worry about. If you really are innocent, that is. That's right! Hey, pal. Go and do your perfect investigation and get the real killer for me, will you? I would have done so. Even if you had not requested me to, detective. So, you and Mr. Faraday had a small meeting last week, did you? And what exactly did you do to make him so angry? I just asked Detective Bad the same thing myself, pal. Turns out, he was mad at me because on my very first day as a detective, I reported in at my usual post instead of the Criminal Affairs Department. By the time I got down to the Criminal Affairs, I was really late. And that's when he gave me the huge speech. I remember doing the same exact thing in elementary school. On the first day of school every year, I'd always wind up going to my old classroom. How pathetic for a detective to be comparable to a mere school child. You claim to be standing guard in front of the door to lobby number 2 during the recess. However, when did you receive the order to do so, and from whom? Earlier at around 3:20, and from Detective Bad, pal. Today's trial took a real crazy turn. So I was told to make sure nothing happened to Mr. Faraday. And yet something did happen to him, correct? It looks like it was a total waste of manpower to assign you to guard duty. Yo! Your words sting worse than your whip, pal. So it was Detective Bad who ordered him to stand guard. Now then, Detective Gumshoe. Is there anything else you'd like to tell me? Nope, not a thing, pal. In that case, allow us to take a look at what you are carrying on your personage. Ah, wait! You can't do that! There's nothing of any particular value here. Well, my handcuffs and badge are confiscated by Detective Bad, so, you know. And what is that open envelope I see sticking out from your coat pocket? Ah! Hands off, pal! Just show it to us already. Yow! Annual bonus check within $5 total. Expect there is no check inside. You've had your look, now give it back, pal. It's my first bonus as a brand new detective. For $5? Oh my god. I just got it and I cashed it today. I had literally no cash on me up until I did, you know? So that envelope is really special to me. I'll give it back. You don't need rubbish like this. Don't worry. We'll throw it away for you later. How could you? Okay, Detective Gumshoe's annual bonus of $5. Littered had no money up until he catched this. Okay, that's interesting that we're keeping it. I'm sorry, but I need to take him for questioning now. I think I've asked him just about everything I needed to. No, wait. Since he became a suspect, there's one piece of evidence I should reconfirm. Officer, I ask that you wait a second. I still have one thing I'd like to reconfirm with Detective Gumshoe. Understood. Please make it brief, sir. Okay, what evidence? I want to hear it from the horse's mouth. I must confirm whether or not his testimony about when the crime occurred is true. Oh, okay. Wait, let me talk to him. I just had it. No. There we go. Okay. Do we need to have his testimony? I guess present it. Was in the hall on guard duty. Other than a gunshot, didn't hear any signs of a struggle. Let's just ask him. You told me earlier that you heard no sound other than the gunshot out in the hallway. Is that correct? No mistake about it, pal. Huh. Then you are also claiming that no one passed through the hallway either. Is that also correct? Yep. Not even a single ant passed through that hallway while I was on duty. You do realize that the lie you're telling is only making life more difficult for yourself. Huh? Oh. But it's true! I didn't see anyone go through the hallway, and I didn't hear anything else, pal. I bet the killer found a way to kill the two guys that's beyond what I can even imagine. So he intends to continue telling this ridiculous lie. But why would he do so, given the situation he's in? I believe a thorough investigation of the hallway in front of the defendant lobbies is in order. So he still kind of claims that he is. Ack you! How could you have not noticed that coming? Wasn't that the child I changed money from earlier? Thanks, that's exactly what I needed! Kids can sometimes be so cruel. It looks like she dropped something. A swish roll dropped by the mysterious young girl says the courthouse special on it. Maybe we should arrest the girl. She might turn out to be a valuable lead. I believe some sort of punishment may need to be dealt the next time we meet. I believe I've asked all that I need of this man. Now the Detective Bad and the judge. We have to confirm who is correct, the judge or that scruff face, right? I suppose we should inspect the hallway in front of the lobby number 2 next then. I suppose so. Shall we head over, Francesca? Alright. Well, as I was saying from Disturbed, so he really claims that that's how it went down. Hopefully this is the way. So, did you see anything else? No, I don't think so. I see. Well, thanks for the cooperation. Oh, it's nothing. Just doing my duty as a defender of the law. That will be now. That will be all for now. I'll ask if you have any other questions. Anytime, Detective. Now, if you excuse me, I have a few loose ends I'd have to tie up. Oh, you're the new prosecutor. Mr. Von Karma recommended, right? My name is Miles Edgeworth, Your Honor. And I am Mainframe Von Karma's daughter, Francesca Von Karma. I'm set to become the successor to my genius father any day now, Your Honor. I see, Mr. New Prosecutor recommended by Von Karma's Miles Edgeworth and Miss J. Lol. Bit my tongue. Are you right, Your Honor? Please feel free to refer me as just Miss Von Karma, Your Honor. As for him, just Edgeworth is fine. Apparently somebody doesn't feel that I'm worthy of my proper title. Very well then. I shall call you Miss Von Karma and Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth. Your Honor, Mr. Edgeworth is fine, sir. Now, about your earlier testimony. Yes, what about it, Mr. Edgeworth? I would like to ask you a few questions about what exactly you saw. Alright. After all, it is my duty to clarify my testimony as a defender of the law. I greatly appreciate your cooperation, Your Honor. Now, the first thing I will need to do is figure out that detective's exact movements. Oh, let's talk to him already. Your Honor, I'd like to ask you a few questions if you don't mind. Where were you at the time of the murder? Do you suspect me of something? No, nothing of the sort, Your Honor. Very well. You may continue with your testimony. Your Honor, it's your testimony I'm after. Oh! I have no idea you were chasing after me or my testimony. I'm beginning to sense that I might want to avoid being in a trial run by this judge. Well, too bad, you will. Let's see here. Now then, how should I put this? When you get to be my age, you need to pay more frequent visits to my restroom. If you go take a look through the window at the end of this hall, you'll see a small window. That is the window to the men's restroom. In other words, you can see clearly into this hallway from the men's restroom. When I was in the restroom, that Detective Gumshoe, is it? Well, he was standing in front of the vending machine buying something from it. However, and this I couldn't believe, when I was about to exit the restroom, there was not a soul in the hallway anymore. Your Honor, if you could please calm down and explain it to me rationally. Oh, I'm really sorry. Please let me regain my composure. It was really suspicious. That's why my finely honed Judge Intuition said. Although, well, until the murders occurred, I just sort of brushed it off. Ho ho ho. Apparently this judge doesn't understand the concept of staying calm. That's probably all I'm going to find out from His Honor. Mr. Edward, may I return to my other duties now? Yes, I'm sorry to have held you up. Thank you for your cooperation, Your Honor. Oh, anytime, Mr. Edward, anytime. The judge in this country seemed rather friendly. Yes, if not a little wish-washy. However, I hear that they are known to hand down very fair verdicts. Let's check the vending machine. It would appear that the vending machine sells snacks and various other foods. Just lovely. What will they think of next? Don't be a jerk in court like these beef jerks. 1 packet for $9. Defendant's fresh milk. 1/2 a pint for $7. Stay neutral as the Swish do until the end with these for $6. They're awfully overpriced. The lineup is simply awful. Period. Speaking of snacks, I wonder if that Swish roll the little girl dropped is from the vending machine. I was wondering about that myself. It doesn't look like there's anything contradictory left in this area. I suppose not. Perhaps I should check somewhere else. Nothing here. We'll talk with him later. Let's investigate this place. I see a wrap over here. What's this? It's a pink-colored piece of trash. Made of rubber. I feel like I've seen something like this before. Well, all I see is a piece of garbage. But you know, the fact that there is a litter running loose inside this courthouse, it's simply unforgivable. It's not like it was I who littered. Rubbish belong in the rubbish bin. Nah. Let's go down. Guess I see ant. Ooh, a finger palm. The dirt on this bench. It smells like some sort of sweet substance. I can't believe there is someone going around dirtying the courthouse. For shame!
Hold it!
Calm down, Francesca. Now, take a good look. Doesn't this smudge look kind of like a handprint to you? I suppose it could be. Which means that perhaps we can lift the prints of the person who sullied this bench. I see. And then we know the identity of our mystery slob. You there, the lab technician. Could you please find out who this handprint belongs to? Sir, yes, sir. I've got the results of the fingerprint analysis, sir. And? Do we know who they belong to? Sir, the fingerprints belong to Detective Gumshoe. How could I have not known? Oh, interesting. Good work, officer. And there you have it. Yes, I suppose so. Now, we know the identity of the person who dirtied the bench. I sense that you and I will be using this information in very different ways. Okay, I see ants. What are these black speckles? I believe it's a pile of ants eating away. Ooh, that detective. He claims that not a single ant slipped by him. And yet, here's a whole hill of them. Ugh! What are you hitting me for? As a replacement for that pathetic detective. Ugh. Perhaps I should add this detection to the detective's growing tab of pay cuts. Anyway, I wonder what the ants are eating. From the looks of it, and From the look and sweet smell of it, pieces of cake and chocolate from a Swiss roll. Miles Edgeworth. The courthouse is to be kept pristine at all times. Ugh! It wasn't me that dropped food on the ground. The courthouse must be kept clean. Nah. Ooh, so I think the girl actually came to Detective Gumshoe to share a Swiss roll, right? The ants are hard at work carrying the food. The ants are hard at work carrying their food home. It's a marvel that they can pick up such comparatively large objects to their size. Well, if you want to carry the mighty Von Karma name and not to be squished under it, you better work extra hard, just like these ants. The same goes for you, Francesca. I think that's all. Should we do some logicking, I believe? A vending machine that sells courthouse sweets, item sale. No human can climb should know. Found. Probably he ordered something. Let's try to connect these two. These bits of chocolate and cake, could they have come from the Swiss roll? A Swiss roll? Why would the courthouse sell a thing like that? It may not seem like the right venue, however. It is being sold right over there. The vending machine? Ah, I see. Stay neutral as a swish do until the end with these. 2 for 6? That. Talk about expensive. Leaving the fact that it's on the expensive side aside, the fact that the cake crumbs and chocolate bits were found in this hallway. Wait, it was $6, right? Like, detective got $5 from his bonus, and the girl asked for $1. So they combined their money to buy it and eat it together. Suggest they came from a Swiss roll that was purchased from this vending machine. I think I have a pretty clear picture of what happened here now. Naturally. After all, I'm here, aren't I? Detective Gumshoe must have sat on this bench as he ate a Swiss roll. And as he ate, he dropped it on the floor and sullied the bench. Ugh, how could he not have cleaned up after himself? How utterly despicable. Don't you dare whip me again. It wasn't I who made the mess in the first place. Anyway, if it was indeed Detective Gumshoe who bought the Swiss roll, that creates a rather interesting contradiction of facts. A contradiction? Where? I think another look at the special courthouse vending machine is in order. Again? We need to look again? Can we do a contradiction? Oh, deduce! Yay! No. Can I deduce over there? Just in case. I'm gonna deduce by the money. Yep. The bonus! Eureka! About Detective Gumshoe's finances, he said that until this morning, he didn't have even a single penny on his personage. Just how poor is that guy? If his bonus really was only $5, then he should not have been able to purchase a pack of Swiss rolls. However, facts being as they are, we found cake crumbs on the floor. Meaning, Scruffy must have bought a pack somehow. Indeed. A detective should not have been able to purchase a pack, and yet he did. The question is how? Do we have evidence for that? Probably not. Young judge for justice? He's making a most ridiculous looking face. That may be, but at least he doesn't look like someone who would tell a lie on purpose. I suppose, but to a Von Karma, evidence is the only thing that carries any weight. Of course. At any rate, this poster seems to be of no use to us right now. Detective Bad, I have something I wish to inquire about. Hey, how about doing some actual work, you? I wish to inquire into Detective Gumshoe movements during the recess. You're getting in the way of the investigation. I have an order from Mr. Von Karma himself. Plus, I still hold investigation authority. Duh. So, I hear you were the only one who called for Detective Gumshoe to come down here. Faraday, that guy was just accused, you know? I just knew something was gonna happen. My detective instincts told me. A lot of good it did you. You couldn't even protect one lone prosecutor with it.
Hold it!
Francesca, I think you need to apologize. I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry, Detective Bad. Please continue. I used the phone on the first floor and called a precinct. I told them to send somebody over. And that detective's the one that showed up. And only upon his arrival did you set Detective Gumshoe to stand guard, Detective Bad? Yeah, I waited for him on the first floor. After he got here, we came up to the defendant's lobbies together. As we entered this hallway, we ran into you. She told us that Faraday was really mad, and that he dragged Rel off to lobby number 2 to have a word or something. And that Faraday had said to not let anyone interrupt them. So, what choice did I have? All I could do was tell the big lug to stand guard outside. And around what time did all of that take place? Let's see. I think it was about 30 minutes before I heard the gunshot. After giving the big lug his assignment, he never left the hallway. Not once. Oh, and how can you make such a claim? Yeah. One of the guards out in the floor's main lobby swore to me he didn't. If the detective never left the hallway, then where did he disappear off to? That's simple. He must have gone into lobby 2 just as I suspected. You and I were in lobby number 1, next door. The only one without an alibi is Gumshoe. It would seem that I am still missing some key pieces of information. Detective Bad, you also heard a gunshot, did you not? Yeah. I heard it when I was in the defendant lobby number 1. That's why I came running towards lobby number 2 toward with you. How much time elapsed between you hearing the gunshot and your arrival on the scene? Less than a minute. What were your movements upon hearing the gunshot? I grabbed the big lug who was just walking around in the hall and raced into lobby number 2. And that's when we discovered the bodies. In that order. That makes you discover of the crime scene, right? Yeah, I guess it does, little miss. I'm about to become a prosecutor very soon. You will treat me with the dignity I deserve, or else. You wave that thing around anymore, and I'll have you arrested for obstruction, little miss. You wouldn't dare! Hahaha. Just joking. Detective Bad is really something if he can make Francesca behave. Are we about done? Is there anything else I should ask him about? Okay, time he heard it or the play? No, time. I'd like for you to tell me the exact time you heard the gunshot. It was around the end of recess, and the trial was about to start again, I think. He was supposed to make time for himself to transfer the evidence he was holding. But I got the sense he wasn't gonna show for the handoff, so I figured I should go get him or he'd be late. And just as I thought that, bang, the sound of a gunshot hit my eardrums. So he heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to restart, huh? Are we done here? I don't have any time to waste. Oh, come on. All you're doing is standing in front of this door, doing nothing. I get the sense that he is somewhat investigating this crime scene. Or rather, that he is keeping us under surveillance. But to what end? Detective Bad, may I ask you that you cooperate with us just a bit longer? I don't have anything else to say to the two of you. You guys were the ones who said that you wanted to investigate in the first place. Fine then. Be obstinate. We'll just do as we please. Come on, Miles. You may no longer be willing to help us. However, may I ask for the forensic scientist's cooperation? Do as you like. Can we go in? No, we can't go in. What are we missing here? Oh, we can maybe talk to them now? Did you find something, officer? I think there is a $5 bill back there. Come on, just a little more. Is there no one working this crime scene who isn't a total waste of living tissue? Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be a single person we can deem useful here. Never mind. What are we missing? We still maybe have to investigate this place. Guess so. So that window on the other side belongs to the men's restroom. I can see it. I can't see it. At your height, I'm not surprised. Now! I guess short people have feelings too. Why, I'm like one of them. Well, I guess that was it. Prickly thingy? What's the matter? I pricked myself on this cactus needle. I didn't think the needles on this thing would be so sharp. Well, what did you expect? Can you imagine how bad it would be if you were hit on the head by one of these? Anyway, this cactus seems to be unrelated to our case. You really think so? Because I believe this cactus sitting on this windsill is completely related. Completely related? How is it related? Oh, well then, I will look forward to your explanation on how exactly is it related. Oh, so that was the thing that we were missing. Logic! Oh. Logic! The pink stuff, maybe? That it came off? Probably. Let's try to connect them, I guess. This pink rubber substance. I saw this in a different form earlier today. I believe this is a piece of a pop balloon. I suppose that's possible. The balloon probably got a little too close to our friend, the windsill cactus. That would be a logical conclusion, yes. Oh, like I said, the girl was there with Gumshoe. Oh, that was the investigation complete! Nice! I believe I have a very firm grasp on what happened here. Well, I do too. Alright, Francesca. Would you care to share that what conclusion you've come to? Why should I do that? We're still in the middle of a competition, you know? We should be checking to see if your conclusions are wrong first. So, you go ahead. It's almost cute that she's finding this far to ensure that she wins. Almost. Very well. But first we need to pay His Honor a visit to correct his testimony. Your Honor, if I may, I'd like to test your witness testimony to see how it stands up. Do you doubt me? Am I your new suspect? In a sense, I suppose you could say that. Even you, a judge, are nothing but a common witness before a von Karma. Silence in this courtroom. Silence, I say. Mr. New Prosecutor recommended remain for Karma. Whoa. You bit your tongue again, didn't you? Ahem. As a defendant of the law, I could never give false testimony. You can even place me under oath if you want. Very well then. Your testimony, if you please. What I saw at recess. During the recess, I went to the restroom. There is a window on the hallway side. In other words, I could see into the hallway. As I entered, I saw the detective buying something from the vending machine. But when I was about to exit the restroom, he had completely disappeared. A detective that goes missing while on duty? That sounds mighty suspicious to me. He was sitting down, so then that's why you couldn't see him. Your Honor, can you please try to remain calm? Oh! I'm so used to simply listening to testimonies that I got caught up in the excitement. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to spoil your fun now.
Objection!
What's that wag for, Mr. Edgeworth? And don't you know it's rude to shout objection while someone is giving testimony? Ha! If you truly are a man of law, then you must always be vigilant. For example, I never let an opportunity to shout objection pass me by. How's Edgeworth? It's one thing to be passionate about your job, but this is real life. This is what some people may say is the pot calling the kettle black. Your Honor, I wonder if you might take a look at this for me. What is this? What is that filth? How dare someone dirty the hallway bench like that? Who is this culprit? Who is the culprit? That party is hereby found guilty of uncleanliness. If you must know, the uncalled bench seller has already been placed under arrest thanks to your early testimony, Your Honor. Oh, that's good. But who was it? We are able to discover something from the smudge off on the bench. Namely, Detective Gumshoe's fingerprints. Not happy with committing just murder, he had to go and dirty the courthouse too? Guilty! Your Honor, please calm down. While it is true that Detective is the one who made the mess on the bench, we have not yet established that this action is related to the double murder. What do you mean? I believe that Detective bought a pack of Swiss rolls from the vending machine, and then promptly sat down on the bench to eat one. The cake crumbs and pieces of chocolate on the floor under the bench, and Detective Gumshoe fingerprints prove my conclusion to be true. Oh, but I still don't understand. Is this whole thing related to how I couldn't see him as I was leaving the restroom? Huh. It is indeed. The window in the hallway was built rather high up into the wall, at around a grown adult's chest height. As evidence, I submit that Francesca herself was unable to see out of that window. Ow! I knew I shouldn't have used her height as evidence. Basically, what this means is that the area directly under the hallway window is a blind spot when the hallway is being viewed from the men's restroom. Then... It seems that you have made the connection. If someone were to sit on the bench under the window... Yes, even someone as large as Detective Gumshoe would effectively disappear from sight. What? Do you finally see, Your Honor? Your testimony has proven that Detective Gumshoe was in the hallway the entire time. Ah, sorry. I didn't mean to say it with that much enthusiasm. I may want to try say some... All I wanted to do was try saying it once. Here, let me try it again. Hold it. Is there something of value you would like to say? Yes, actually there is. I remember something else just now. Mr. Edgeworth, please allow me to testify to court one more time. Even if we overruled him, he'd just keep on talking, wouldn't he? That might not be a bad thing. The more info, the better in a perfect investigation, right? I suppose it was possibly you can't see a seated person from the restroom window. However, it doesn't mean that the detective was sitting there when I looked. Anyway, I forgot to testify earlier about probably the most important detail. As I was about to leave the restroom, I heard the loud bang of a gunshot. How was that? That is a testimony of one who judged the crimes of others. Your Honor, could you try to state the important facts first next time? I agree. Before you go around judging others, you should learn to judge your own words. I'm sorry. But honestly, I thought that sound was just a noise popper until just now. Now that he mentions it, right before we restarted the trial, we did talk about that. Oh, by the way, there was someone celebrating a birthday during the recess. I could have sworn that I heard a popper going off. Come to think of it, the other day with my grandson. The most critical point in this argument is when did the judge look into the hallway? And whenever that lines up with when the gun was actually fired. Your Honor, if I may, I'd like to clarify a few details in your testimony. You heard a gunshot right before... Okay. Try. Yay! Your Honor, I cannot allow you to make an objection. What? Your Honor, I'm really sorry, but I can't not allow me to make an objection. Edges, I've been overruled! Your Honor, there are simply too many holes in your testimony for my taste. Oh, what do you mean by that? You claimed that you heard the gunshot during the recess, but that is simply not possible. Mr. New Prosecutor recommended by Main for Karma. Instead of biting... What she said? Instead of biting your tongue, why don't you bite your tongue of those preposterous names? I see you have no mercy for the elderly either, Francesca. Don't talk back to me unless you want to be whipped in the back. But your height, you need a stepladder or four to accomplish that. Mr. Edgeworth, my ears are not that far gone yet. I'll have you know, I can still hear just fine. And I heard that sound of a gunshot loud and clear with my own two ears. Ha! Your Honor, I have here an interesting bit of testimony. It's from Detective Bad, and according to him, he heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to start again. What did you just say? Your Honor, you just said that you heard the gunshot about 20 minutes before we were about to reconvene. How do we explain this glaring contradiction? That can't be! Unfortunately, that is the truth. But I heard it clear as day. Bang! The loud sound of a gunshot. The sound of a gunshot. We keep returning to this point of the contention. And that piece of evidence, I always did wonder why I found it where I did. However, now I understand what the gunshot and the judge heard really was. Unfortunately, Your Honor, this is what you produced the gunshot you heard. Oh.
Take that!
I found this object in the hallway earlier. What is that pink substance? It may not look it, but this is really a piece of a balloon. I see. And I suppose you would like me to accept that pink balloon into the court record. Your Honor, I present this piece of evidence in order to overrule your testimony. What? Your Honor, your argument goes as follows. You saw no one in the hallway when you heard the gunshot. Now, there is no guarantee that the detective was sitting on the bench at the time. Therefore, you believe he must have been in the crime scene, the defendant lobby number 2. Am I correct? Yes, that's exactly right. Let me ask you something. Do you think that the gunshot was produced by a real gun? I think I've said enough that even you can figure out the rest out on your own. Your Honor, you were fooled by the popping of this balloon into thinking it was a gunshot. What manner of trickery is this? That was a good effort you put forth, Mouse Edgeworth. But if it was me, I'd have wrapped this thing up before the judge even testified. Care to elaborate on how one ends something before it even begins? Well, to be honest, I did think of that the sound was a bit off from a real gunshot sound. But who would have guessed that someone would pop a balloon in a place like this? That's true. One doesn't usually think balloons in conjunction with courthouses. I want to trade these coins with you. That balloon that girl was holding, it explains everything. Your Honor, if it makes you feel any better, you didn't lie once in your testimony. However, I can't really vouch for its accuracy. Who knew that giving testimony could be such a difficult thing to do? What have I done? I owe Detective Gumshoe a very, very big apology. I will see it to myself that he is released. Wait. There is still a few things I have yet to resolve about what happened in the hallway. Your Honor, I request your permission to further question Detective Gumshoe. Why? I thought we just cleared his name. Whether we did just now or not, I still cannot say. The only thing I can do for now is to continue in my quest for the perfect explanation. And to that end, I must resolve the remaining issues pertaining to the event that occurred in the hallway. Very well. Bailiff, please bring Detective Gumshoe into the courtroom. I must fulfill my mission and find the perfect explanation to this case. What is it now? Is it time for my trial already? I've already told you a gazillion times, pal, I didn't do it. I'll be the judge of that, Detective Gumshoe. No, you won't. I'll be the judge of that. No. I'm the judge around here. I'll be the judge of that. Why can't you guys be a little less judgmental? Yes, well, speaking of hasty judgments, Detective Gumshoe. I'm afraid I must apologize for an error in judgment on my part. Your Honor, I don't believe you should apologize just yet. We have yet to prove he is completely innocent of this crime. I guess so. What are you guys talking about? In any case, I would like you to testify as your actions while you were on guard duty. And please remember, you are not on trial. This is just part of the investigation. As such, you may still be found to be innocent. However, if you should give false testimony... Yo! My whip will eject loud and clear. If you are found to be lying, you will be held indefinitely. Understood? I gotcha, pal. Thinking back on the state of the crime scene and the judge's testimony, it's obvious that Detective Gumshoe is lying. And if I can't break his lie, then we may never get the break in this case. I came down here to this courthouse on Detective Bat's orders. As soon as I got here, he ordered me to stand guard in front of lobby number 2. From that time on, until I heard the gunshot, I was in the hallway the whole time. On my honor as a detective, I swear it wasn't me, pal. He still sings the same tired tune. In that case, I'll just have to change the melody. I know he's lying, and it's time I pull the information I need out of him. Should we do that he was sitting? Probably, right? Or do we have like a testimony of... No, we don't.
Objection!
I have an objection. What is it, pal? Detective Gumshoe. I wonder if you might recognize this from somewhere. Or I could have testimonied that as well. Hey, it's one of those things. The courthouse special swish rolls, right, pal? Precisely. In that case, I suppose that you also recall the sullied hallway bench. Hey, you know what? I think it was probably me that did that. Detective Gumshoe, you know you can't go around dirtying up the courthouse like this. You inconsiderate slobby pig. Eek! I promise to clean it up later, I swear. Now then, shall we get down to business? About the fact that you didn't move even a single step from in front of the door. If that really were the case, then how were you able to buy a pack of swish rolls? Yuck! Furthermore, if you didn't move a single step from in front of that door, how did you manage to get the bench dirty with your grubby hands? Youch! It appears that Francesca Whip can do more damage than my words alone can. Alright, I confess, pal. I was hungry, so I bought a pack of myself, okay? I thought I'd get chewed out again if I found out about me eating on the job. But I didn't want to say anything. Well, unfortunately for you, I saw you do the whole detestable deed. Clearly saw you buying a pack of swish rolls from the vending machine. Okay, I'm sorry for lying. But that's all I'm sorry for. You got that because I'm not holding anything else back. That last statement. It may sound like it made sense. However, there is something I don't quite believe about. Are you sure you're not withholding further information from us? Huh? Of course not! I've got nothing else to hide, pal.
Objection!
Oh, if only that were true, Detective Gumshoe. But it's true, pal. I swear there's nothing else. Detective Gumshoe, I'm sure you are aware of the price of a pack of swish rolls, correct? Remind me again, pal. That vending machine out in the hallway is selling packs of 2 swish rolls for $6 a pack. And yet, according to you, you didn't have any cash on you until you cashed your $5 annual bonus check. Isn't that right? Oh, let me ask you then, how did you manage to purchase a pack all by yourself? Can you provide me with a proper explanation to that? I told you I bought it myself, pal. There wasn't anyone else in the hallway with me. So there's no one who could have helped me to buy it. Wait, don't tell me. You got some kind of proof that there was someone else in the hallway, don't you? Correct. As if you could. I mean, what are the chances that... Wait, you do? Of course I do. What? How? What proof do I have that there must have been someone else in the hallway? The balloon.
Take that!
Oh, never mind! Well, we can do the switch roll because the girl dropped it.
Take that!
Hey, you showed that to me 2 seconds ago, pal. Ha. I think you're under the mistaken impression that I bought this pack of rolls. Wait, if you didn't buy it, that means you must have stolen it. You thief! What? I would never do such a thing. All you liars are the same. You start out as thieves. You're under arrest, pal. I believe you meant to assert that all thieves start out as liars. And in that case, what does it say about you, detective? This particular switch roll was dropped by a certain someone. Oh. There was 2 rolls in this package. You ate one of them. But you then gave the other one to a certain other person, didn't you? No way, pal! You got it all wrong! I ate both of them! It'll appear that we've caught you at last. Hey! Don't you do anything bad to that girl! It would appear that they do know each other after all. So, why do you continue to come up to me and kick me? Have I wronged you somehow? I have a name, and it's Kay. Kay what? Kay Farida. Farida. Are you perhaps Mr. Farida's daughter? I'm not a you, I'm Kay. Kay. You know, good little girls don't kick other people. Especially not hard enough to leave big nasty bruises like that way you do. Well, then you shouldn't have put Gummy under arrest, mister. Gummy? My guess is that she's talking about Detective Gumshoe. What a cute nickname you've given him. Gummy didn't do anything wrong. Hey, it appears that I will need to speak with her in a bit more detail. Now then, Kay. She's like a stray cat. I wonder if I could feed her something.
Take that!
Hey, I promise to give you this to you if you calm down. Oh, a switch roll! It really belongs to you though, doesn't it? Yeah, I was saving it for Daddy. Oh my. Your father. He's... don't you say another word, pal. She doesn't know it yet. Thanks for watching out for me, Gummy. But I already know about Daddy. I overheard the guards talking. About how Daddy's... he's not here anymore. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I couldn't protect him. Okay, Fred. Okay. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna. Cry! It's alright. Let it all out. Your father just passed away after all. I myself was also involved in a case at this courthouse when I was a young child. A case in which my father, who was a defense attorney, passed away. All of my dreams of becoming a lawyer were crushed into fine ash on that nightmarish day. Even now, the wound festers deep in the depths of my soul. Ever since that incident, I've dedicated myself to locking away every criminal I can, and now to have this happen right in front of me. This child, I feel a certain shadow fate, a common bond between us. How's that word? What sort of gentleman are you? Are you going to just stand there and watch a lady cry? Ah, you're right. Sorry about that. Hey, here, how about we use this handkerchief here and dry your little eyes? Oh, it's so cute! Ah! That's even better. No, my cravat! Don't blow your nose on that! I feel better now, thanks. Oh, that's funny. Hey, are you going to be alright? Yep, I'm already alright. Somehow I highly doubt that, but I'm not going to push it. I promise Daddy I never cry in front of strangers. And you're a good kid, aren't you, Kay? You always keep your promises, right? That's right. Even if I can't see Daddy anymore, I'm still going to keep all my promises. You're a very brave girl, Kay. You're a very good child to keeping the promises you made to your papa. I'll even testify that you didn't cry just for you. Thank you very much, lady. Ha, it's nothing. I'm only telling the truth after all. It would appear that because her father was a respected prosecutor, Francesca is sympathetic to Kay's feelings. Kay, what kind of person was your father? Daddy was a hero of justice. His job was to catch all of the bad people in the world. So to you, a prosecutor is a hero of justice, huh? I suppose we are all in a sense, as we are the ones who seek guilty verdicts for criminals. Plus, you know what? Whenever I came to the courthouse, Daddy would buy me my absolute favorite treat, switch rolls. Oh? I want to be a hero of justice someday, just like my daddy. So I've been working really hard. I see. And what have you been working hard on? I've been working hard to keep all the promises Daddy and I made together. A promise notebook. May I take a look inside, Kay? Sure, okay. It appears to be an exchange of diary of sorts between father and daughter. Mr. Friday's writing conveys a sense of the kind of man he was. This little notebook just might come in handy later. Thank you for showing it to me, Kay. I hope you'll continue to work hard and become a hero just like your father. I'm gonna try. Hey Kay, so I'm a detective that catches the bad people, right? That makes me a hero too. Yeah, you're really cool too, Gummy. Yeah, aren't I, Kay? What is it with the two of them? I hand out verdicts of justice, so that makes me a hero too. Yes, and thanks to your oh-so-heroic testimony, you almost painted that detective as a vile criminal and sent him off to jail. Really sorry about that. Gummy is not a bad man, okay? That poor judge. He's been treated like a vile criminal rather than a hero of justice. It appears that you and Detective Gumshoe are good friends, Kay. Yeah, we're friends. In that case, would you mind telling me a little more about him? So I take it that you ran into Detective Gumshoe earlier? Yep. I was on my way to see Daddy when I saw Gummy standing there. He was standing in the hallway staring really hard at the vending machine, so I said hi. And when was this? Huh? Oh, before everything got crazy. How long were the two of you together? We only talked for a little while. And then we went on our own ways. That's right, pal. Kay and I only talked for a little while, and that's it. Oh, which means... We have now confirmed that Kay was in the hallway during the recess, isn't that right? Ah, you got me! I told you to stop picking on Gummy, mister! Very well then. I'll just have to speak with the good detective in private later. were you the one who bought this pack of Swiss rolls, Kay? Well, I didn't really have a lot of money, and I somehow made $1 out of all the pennies and quarters I had. But that still wasn't enough, and I really, really wanted one. Come to think of it, she did come and ask me to exchange a handful of change for $1. And that's when you came and asked me to change your money, correct? Yeah, thanks a bunch for doing that, mister. Sure. But let me ask you, even with that $1, you still didn't have enough, correct? Well, that's why. Hey, if you bully Kate anymore, I'm going to have to arrest you, pal. Need I remind you that you're the one already under arrest? Yow! I sense that Kate is going to be less than forthcoming with this question. I'm sorry about your roughly thing. Well, yes, well, now that is positively drenched in your natural mucus. Don't worry, Kay. I have a spare. So, here, you can have this one. But Daddy said, never take things from a stranger. And if it's one of the promises... it's one of the promises you made in the promise book, correct? Yeah, look, see, it's right here on this page. Wait, I want to check before they open it, maybe, or something. Never take things from a stranger, never go anywhere with a stranger. Always greet people with a smile, even people you don't know. Never cry in front of strangers. Always try your hardest to learn about things you don't understand. Daddy's job is to make sure that everyone follows the rules. Kay, be a good girl and promise that you'll keep your promise to me, okay? Love your daddy. She already kind of broke one promise because she never go anywhere with a stranger. I mean, she kind of wanted to go to the vending machine. I'm loving! But anyway. Alright, then I'm not giving this to you. I'm merely allowing you to borrow it. You can take it home. Wash it nice and clean and then give it back to me next time we meet. Hey, Daddy never said I couldn't borrow things from strangers. Now then, Detective Gumshoe. Oh, I believe it's now crystal clear that you were with little Kay in that hallway. I told you to stop being mean to Gummy! Miles Edgeworth, there is still something you have yet to resolve. I beg your pardon. You still haven't offered an explanation of why that man would lie to us. That's, well... Gummy, don't tell me you lied for my sake. Hey, don't worry about it, Kay. Everything's gonna be okay. Ah, so that's why. So, what was Detective Gumshoe's motive for lying? If you can't explain that, then you can call this a perfect investigation. His reason for lying is very simple. What? Here is what I believe to be his reason. From simple observation of the detective's action and his interaction with Kay, it's obvious the detective was lying for the young girl's sake. And this piece of evidence will show you exactly why. What piece of evidence proves that Detective Gumshoe was lying in account for Kay? Yes, like strangers. Mr. Frederick and Kay promised notebook. How does this explain anything? If you could take a look at this page, it's clearly written that Kay should never take things from a stranger. When Detective Gumshoe heard about that promise, he tried to cover for Kay. What a foolishly foolish fool of a foolish reason for a fool! Yow! Gummy, you lied because of me, didn't you? Because I'm your friend, Kay, that's why. Gummy! At long last, Detective Gumshoe, can you please tell me the whole truth now? Guess there is no beating you, huh, pal? Okay, I'll spill the goods. I've been standing guard for a while. I was getting really hungry and the snack vending machine was taunting me. But all the cash you had on you was $5 and that wasn't enough to buy anything, right? After all, the cheapest item in the vending machine is $6 pack of Swiss rolls. Yeah, but then, like an angel from heaven, Kay showed up. I was thinking about sharing a snack with Daddy, so I wanted to buy a Swiss roll. But I only had $1 in coins. So we pulled my $5 and her $5. So we pulled my $5 and her $1 together and bought the pack of Swiss rolls together. But I was worried about breaking one of my promises. So then Gummy said, Mr. Friday's one scary guy when he gets mad. But don't worry, you won't get in trouble if I don't tell, right? Besides, you bought it with me. So you didn't really get it from me, you know? He told me it'd be okay. And he gave me a whole roll to save and gave it to Daddy. Who knew that Scruffy could be so considerate? Indeed. Detective, I take it that you then sat down on the bench and ate the rolls together. Yeah, we split the roll and ate it right then. The sweet taste of that cake chocolate, I'll never forget it as long as I've lived, pal. Anyway, Kay, I believe this belongs to you. Oh, that's from the balloon I popped. It's bad manners to leave garbage lying around, Kay. I'm sorry. Well, I guess I can't blame you for not throwing this one piece away. It was sitting high up on the windowsill where you couldn't see it. So, just this once, I forgive you. But that balloon, I wanted to surprise Gummy a little, so I popped it on purpose. And because of me, Gummy dropped his half of the Swiss roll. Wow, you really got me there, pal. So, I thought maybe I should give Gummy this other roll. And then I saw you picking on Gummy, mister. So you kicked me, is that it? You sure are a feisty one. I'm really sorry, mister. It's alright, I'm perfectly unharmed. But about this Swiss roll, wouldn't it be alright with you if I held onto it until Detective Gumshoe is cleared of all charges and free to go? Yeah, sure. Just make sure you give it to Gummy afterwards, okay? Of course, I promise. Now then, I believe we have proven beyond the shadow of a doubt that Detective Gumshoe was in the hallway for the entire duration of his duty, which undeniably proves that Detective Gumshoe could not have committed the double murders.
Objection.
Actually, it proves just the opposite, Edgeworth. You've just shown that Detective Gumshoe is the only one who could have committed the crime. What do you mean? It's quite rude to eavesdrop, Miss Yu. I'm getting lectured on manners. By a girl with a pretense for whipping people. What? How dare you talk to me with such insolence? You're wrong, lady. Gummy's not the bad guy. Oh, and what we have here? What is a child doing here in this courthouse? Bailiff, please take this child away. But, Miss Ketsley, you. That girl is Mr. Friday's. I know, so what? You think that just because she's the victim's daughter, she gets to run wild all around the crime scene? I think it's actually quite dangerous for her to speak nothing of getting underfoot. I suppose you're right. However, as long as you're in agreement on that point, let's get back to the real issue at hand. Now then, detective, you were in front of the door to lobby number 2 the entire time, correct? Yeah, but... You see, isn't it obvious that it could only be the detective? He is the only person who could have gone into lobby number 2 at that time of the murders. I have no counter-argument to that. Don't worry, I've already put in the necessary paperwork in this formal arrest. But the investigation is far from over. Oh, that's right. I was going to speak with you about that. Don't you think it's reckless to talk to the suspect in the open without a guard? I suppose it is. Well, as someone with more experience in law than you, allow me to share something. Always keep a good eye on a criminal. Always keep a good eye on a criminal, or you may regret what comes of your negligence. Ooh, Miles, I can't believe you're letting this woman lecture you like this. This is unforgivable as a disciple of Karma. Hahaha. Down, tigers. Now then, I'll be looking forward to the results of your investigation. So, we're back to square one. Actually, this is our last chance. I can tell that if we fail to solve this case, Detective Gumshoe will be formally charged under all of the circumstantial evidence. This investigation is not over yet. There's still one location we have yet to inspect. It's where Detective Bat and Miss Yu were at the time of the crime scene. Lobby number 1. To be continued! We've got information, but we still haven't gotten all the information. So that's not bad. Now we have to figure out what happened in lobby number 1. And if everything happened as the way it happened, and how it happened. I'm still kind of confused on how it was possible that they died, but we'll figure that out. I'm ending it here, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in part 3. Bye!